I'm sneaking online, y'all. Sneaking online. Hi. Hello, everyone. The only people who can come in here are ones who will not tell it on me. Hello. You can come in if you don't tell it. This is a surprise. Hello. Come on in. Don't be shy. Come on in. It is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I am in here working. No one knows I'm going live. I hope your alerts were on because I did not tell anyone. Hi, Vivian Crosby. I am doing pretty good. I am working very hard. Hey, Tasha Moore. I just finished. No, I've been finished. I got to get my baby's book bag shipped out. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come in, everyone. Hey, Miss Kizzy. How are you? I'm doing good, Miss Tasha Moore. Hey, Vanessa McCorker. How are you? Sorry, I messed up your name. Can you guys hear me well? I got my blessing is running in the background. Let me adjust this thing. Blessing is running in the background, and I just don't know if it's going to drown out the microphone or not. Yeah, welcome, Miss McCorker. Thank you for joining me live. Hi, Miss D. Purple Leon. Hello, how are you? Welcome to my live chat. My sneaking live chat. Surprise live chat. Hi, Miss Kathy Kaiser. How are you? Hello, everyone. Welcome. I was in here working on a big order I just received yesterday, day before yesterday, something like that. And working on some hats. So I got the hats running in the background, and I'm gonna have to get up every so often to go back there and put a new hat on. So that's how that's gonna be. Hi, Miss Joni. Welcome from Augusta. Thibodeau's Treasures. You finally got on live. Yes, you did. How are you? Yes, Joni, it is a surprise. I told my husband, I was like, I'm gonna sneak on. And he was like, oh my God. Well, sorry. Thank you for coming. I wanted to show you guys that I got the Peggy stitch eraser, and I know I showed it on Sunday, but I wanted to show us using it actually. And I did record a video of me using it, and I was going to upload that. But then today while I was working, I'm like, you know what? I think I'm just going to do it live and show you just how cool it is in person. That Peggy stitch eraser, I'm telling you, if you do embroidery or sewing and you don't have this, you are doing yourself a disservice. I'm telling you now, because I just cannot believe how simple it is to help get my stitches out, because I have a bad habit of messing up all the time. So it's really cool, and I'm really excited to show you guys me using it live so that you can see it for yourself live. No doctored up images, no edited video footage, none of that. We're going to do the Peggy stitch eraser tonight. And thank you, Miss Susan. It's good to see you in here as well. And Miss Phenomenal Creations, welcome. Ariel, hello, hello. How are you doing this evening? Welcome, everyone. I appreciate you guys popping in. This is a surprise. I said that I was not going to do Thinking Thursday, and this is not a Thinking Thursday. But I got to thinking earlier. I wanted to do, hey, Miss Blake. I wanted to do the Peggy stitch eraser. I did pre-record, but I decided to do it live. And then when I thought about it too, with the hurricane coming through, they're saying that it's supposed to be coming straight for where I live, which is in Charlotte, North Carolina, right? So the last time I watched the news, which was at 5 earlier, and I'm sure they'll update it here again, they were saying it's coming straight for us. And as a matter of fact, they say that it may come just to the west of Charlotte, which if that's the case, all of those winds on the west side of a hurricane are the worst part of the hurricane. So if you're on the east side, it's it's bad, and it's wind and it's rain. But on the west side of the hurricane, that's where you get the damaging, catastrophic wind damage. So, not exactly excited about that. As a matter of fact, my husband and I and the children have decided that we will evacuate once it gets closer to Florida and they have a better feel for about where it's going to go. We're going to leave. And the reason we're going to leave is because my home, I have a lot of trees on my property surrounding my home. Under normal circumstances, that's a wonderful thing. I have a huge pecan tree in the front yard. I have 2 black walnut trees in my front yard. I have 4 black walnut trees in my backyard. And a smaller pecan tree that needs to be chopped down because it's diseased, that's in my backyard. So I have so many different trees. Oh no, dear Miss Blake, Blessing is going with me, so we're not going to be worried about Blessing unless something happens to us on the road. But we're surrounded, and I'm not necessarily worried so much about flooding here in Charlotte. Well, not Charlotte, but here at my house, I'm not exactly really worried about major flooding here, mainly because I'm kind of situated on an elevated area, and just the street over it kind of dips down, and a lot of the area over by my home dips. So I know a lot of that area will probably flood if we get torrential rain in massive amounts. But my home is a little bit higher, so I'm not really too terribly worried about flooding. I am worried about the trees, though. I'm very actually worried about the trees because I was supposed to have had my trees topped and trimmed, but I put it off, and now it's going to be put to the test, unfortunately. So, yeah, they're saying, Miss Blake, they're saying Tennessee is probably going to be clipped. Miss Howard, we appreciate the prayers, and I'm hoping it doesn't come that way. Augusta is going to get hit, very much so. Miss McCorkle, thank you. Yeah, Tampa, I would hunker down. I really would, but I am very nervous about the trees on my property. Tasha, Greenville is in the path. Yeah, I'm really concerned. I have family in Florida. As a matter of fact, I need to call and check on her and see what her decision is going to be, because I do want to know where she is going to be at all times. But in my situation, me, my kids, the dogs, we're talking about going north a little bit into West Virginia, but we're still unsure about that because from the path that they're showing online in the weather, it's possibly going towards West Virginia too. So it's like, oh my God, what do we do? So we're up in the air about where we're going to evacuate exactly, but we do know that if we're going to be on the west side of this thing, 9 times out of 10 we're gonna leave. So a little nervous. It's kind of sobering to purchase your home and be really excited about being in your home. I think this is my going into my 3rd year owning this particular home, and possibly losing it, because we do have so many trees. And I didn't really, it kind of hit me last night when I was laying there, and I was like, okay, well, evacuation is good because we know ahead of time to leave, and we know ahead of time to take certain things with us and make sure and then I got to thinking, I'm like, oh my God, what do you leave behind? You can't take the whole daggum house. And I know there's a lot of unnecessary things, but I do want to make sure that we have the necessities. And then there are some things that I'm like, oh my God, can I take that? Can I take, So one of the things I did tell my husband, I'm like, yeah, no, my machine. Yeah, we're gonna have to need to make space for my machine. for my machine because I can't see leaving blessing behind. And it's not so much as me really, because I'm not worried about flooding in here. Even though I need a roof in here, and I know any type of wind damage or any type hard wind here is going to damage my roof worse than what it already is. And I keep her covered when I'm not in here. But what my concern is, two things: if a tree falls, because there are trees near me, if a tree falls and does damage to this building, then it could cause damage to my equipment. The other thing I'm concerned with is looting. And I know that if it gets, bad, this area could be prone to looting, especially if they know that we're not in the home. So there's a couple of things that, and it's going to be kind of hard to loot that. I'm not kidding, because that sucker weighs every bit of 70 pounds, if not 80. It's a very, very heavy machine. So I can't see a person just coming in, snatching it and taking off running. But I don't want to take any chances with it. I am not going to take chances with my machine. So I know my machine is going to go with me. But, it's just, it was really sobering, you guys. And knowing that so many people, like we have a friend that's Miss Blake? I'm pretty sure it's Miss Blake in Puerto Rico. Aren't you in Puerto Rico, Miss Blake? And if so, you guys just passed Irma, if I'm not mistaken. Irma just passed you guys. Okay, it's not Miss Blake, it's somebody else. I can't think of who it is right now. But there is another viewer who is in Puerto Rico, and I was hoping to hear from her. Tennessee. Okay, I'm sorry, mixed you up. I'm looking at the picture and trying to get the picture in my mind, but she is in Puerto Rico, and looking at some of the images in Puerto Rico, not necessarily Puerto Rico, but it was just before Puerto Rico, and the people lost so much. St. Martin, St. Martinique, they've lost so much, and it's like, wow, you don't want to lose anything, but if you did, that's kind of rough to think about it. So at any rate, I don't want to get down. I want to stay upbeat. So what I've been doing in here today is I have been working on a hat order. Hold on, and I'll show you what I've been working on. Let me go get it. So I've been doing hats. I got an order for 15 hats. I think it's not a huge order, but pretty sizable. And this is her. This is her image that she wants on it. And what I'm going to do is do all of her hats, the front image, and then I'm going back and I'm going to do the side. So I do have the machine up and running while I'm live, so it'll be kind of noisy off and on as I do this. But one of the things, I try to make sure when I'm doing embroidery, especially on hats, is to make sure that it's centered really good. And in centering it, it wasn't exactly where the customer wanted. Let's see, this one is just a smidge off, but I'll show you what she didn't like. So she said that she wanted this dip area of Africa and the tip down here, the dip and the tip, to be on the center line of the hat, right? So this is what she wanted, but this is how I did the first one. Now this one, the image is actually centered on the hat, but she didn't want it centered. She wanted it off center so that it would line this up to the center. So that being the case, I told her that two of the hats I had already stitched out, so it's going to be off center. But what I'm going to do is Peggy stitch erase this hat, so that you guys can see a full-blown stitch filled logo being erased off of a hat with the Peggy stitch eraser. Okay, so a little backstory. I did do a video a while back on mistakes on your embroidery machine, how to fix it, things of that magnitude, and being friends with you know, your trusty seam ripper and whatnot. And I got so many messages from different ones saying, use the stitch eraser, use the Peggy stitch eraser, Peggy stitch eraser, Peggy stitch, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, Peggy, okay, look, I already knew about the Peggy stitch eraser, but I had never bought it, because when I looked up the price of it, it was $80 when I saw it. And I was like, okay, I totally get the price and it's probably worth it, but I wasn't ready to invest. So an order that I had last week, I messed up on it. And in doing so, because the person that gave me the order wrote the name down, and when I read the name, I misread the name. So I was like, okay, I need to take the stitches out of this hat, because in order to get another hat, normally if I mess up, I'll just order a replacement, right? And just get another hat and redo it. Like this hat, for instance, you know, a couple of bucks, I go get another hat. No big deal. And it's not far where this particular hat came from, but that hat was a specialized hat. It wasn't a normal ball cap. And to order it, it had to come from New Jersey, a company in New Jersey that I'm not going to name because they made me mad. But anyways, when I ordered the hat, they said they send it next day. Well, they did not. So I got kind of antsy. I was like, you know what, forget it. I'm just gonna try this Peggy stitch eraser thing, because the writing on the hat, the name was so, the stitches were so small. I knew the seam ripper, it would take me forever and cramp my hands, and I may not be able to even get those stitches out with the seam ripper the way I normally get it out. And I didn't want to use a razor, because you can actually use a razor if you lightly go over the back of embroidery on the back side, and or even a man's shaving razor. But the back of that particular hat was mesh, okay, and it was soft, you know, jersey type mesh. It wasn't like a thick, strong mesh. So I was like at my wit's end, and I said, okay, I'm gonna order this stitch eraser and see if it works. When I tell you this thing, this little thing took the stitches out of that hat, even that soft mesh, so cleanly that you could not even tell. You can barely tell. Only an embroiderer would have known that those stitches were gone, that those stitches were there before. Okay, so that made me a believer. It really did. And what I decided to do was try it out on a bunch of different things. Okay, so I went back in my arsenal, because sometimes I keep my mistakes just to, you know, get back in, you know, just show as an example or to remind myself. Hi, Ms. Zekas, welcome. To remind myself of the mistakes that I've made. And so I went back and found some of those, and I started using it, right? So I'm gonna give you some warnings, okay? With the stitch eraser, it is still a razor. It is a blade. It will cut, and it will cut through fabric. Don't ask me how I know. Just believe me, this will cut through fabric. This particular one is cordless. I did get the Peggy Stitch Eraser 8C. The link is down in the description below. And that makes it handy to be able to get in the tight spaces, and I don't have to worry about finding a plug until it's time to charge it. Really cool thing. So that being the case, when I tried it on different things, the shirts, you have to be really careful. Soft materials, you have to be very careful. But there's a particular way you can use it, and you can get really cool results out of using the stitch eraser. That being said, we'll get to working on a hat, but I do need to hoop another hat. So what I'm going to do is go down the comments briefly, and then I'm going to put another hat on the machine so that I can be working while I'm live, and then answer questions while we work on a hat with the Peggy's Stitch Eraser. I am showing Miss Ethel Smith, says she's in NC. Oh, wait a minute. No, you said that you are in Georgia on the side of 95, but you'll know Sunday you'll be going to Smithfield, North Carolina. Are you saying Smithfield, North Carolina? Because North Carolina, if I'm not mistaken, they were talking about the entire state with the exception of the coast. But the coast is going to get those back winds from off of the hurricane, so that's going to be dangerous too. Vivian Crosby, my niece just left Florida heading your way to stay with family, and I tried to get her to come here, but she said the ride was too far. I wish she had went somewhere other than, because she may have to leave here too. But we'll know more by Saturday, I think they said. Saturday we'll have a better idea of where it's actually going to go. Miss Joni Thurman, you asked me, which hat hoop do you have? I actually have the cap driver that came with the embroidery machine. I am in the process of considering which hat hoop I'm going to get from a company called Hoop Tech, HOOPTECH, Hoop Tech. They have a couple of different hat hoops that I want, and I'm in the process of trying to get things together to order one of them because they're kind of pricey, which this one was too, but because of the special they had going on at Lee's Creative Sewing and Vacuums, this came with my machine, which was awesome. Oh my god, this thing, it took me a while to get used to it and learn how to use it. But now that I know how to use it, I love my cap driver that came with my machine. So you have to make sure that you line it up just so. And one day I will be doing a video on it because I will be doing several videos on that machine. But I won't be doing that today. But this is the cap driver that I have, and I do love it. I love it very much. Because I do a lot of hats. As a matter of fact, like I said, this order is 15 hats. Another order I just got is 30 hats. So I get hats all the time, and then several of my other regular customers, they get hats all the time. So that's the hat hoop that I have. Vanessa McCorker, you said, oh, here it is, sorry. It was not bad when you started talking, so the machine blessing is not drowning you out. Sweet. Thank you for letting me know, because sometimes, I don't know how it sounds. Some YouTubers have, earphones that they can wear so they can hear themselves and know how things sound around them, but they don't want to do that, so I don't know what I sound. I don't know what I sound like. Miss Tasha, you got to finish homework with the girls. Came to say hi. Everyone stay safe with this monster storm. My prayers are going up. Love the hat. Thank you, Miss Tasha, even though you might be gone already. Sorry, tell my babies I said hi. Joni Thurman says, it is the bomb. I love your Peggy Stitch Eraser. Man, I'm trying to tell y'all, if you don't have it, you're missing out. You must get it. You must get it. Especially if you make boo-boos like I do all the time. All the time. It's embarrassing. Miss Barbara Zekis, hi. I said that already. I think I did say hi to you earlier. Vanessa McCorker, oh, I believe you, and I need one. I hope you got a link. The link is below in the description. I have hats I've been picking for almost 6 months, and I don't want to throw anything away. I'm a queen of repurposing. I am the exact same way. So yes, I understand. And Miss Ethel says you're going to Maryland. That's a good idea. Vanessa McCorker says, you gotta go, your ride just pulled up and he is already late. Watch this soon. Just love you too, Miss McCorker. Thank you for popping in. You guys give me a sec. I'm gonna be right here or just over there. I'm gonna go ahead and hoop another hat so that it will be running and I won't because this order, I actually set my orders out 2 to 4 weeks for me to give myself time to get orders done. But this is the thing, I want to be sure that this particular order, because she's nearby me, that her order gets done before the storm hits, or at least that's what I'm trying to do, is get this order done before the storm hits. So I'm kind of like rushing myself a little bit. Miss Blake, I don't mind if you ask what people will pay for a hat. Do you charge the same price for all ball caps? I do not charge the same price. My charge for ball caps, would you have taken the order if you only had the 4x4s? Yes, I still would take an order for hats. But I would have to let them know that I'm limited to the 4x4 field, so that if they wanted something bigger, then I wouldn't have been able to do it, or I would be hesitant to do it. If it's bigger, like for instance, this is the hat that I did earlier here, and this one is, gosh, I want to say 5 inches wide. I can't remember what the measurements is on this, and I don't have my tape measure right here handy, but it's way bigger than 4x4. I could still do it on a 4x4, but it takes rehooping, and the method of rehooping for me, it involves marking out exactly where my pattern is going to be, drawing lines on it with the disappearing ink marker, the water soluble disappearing marker, lining it up, lining up where the centers of each 4x4 panel is going to be. You know, it's like a whole process, and that I would not want to do on a 4x4 machine unless it was a really big, you know, a really important person, and you know, they were paying pretty good. But with this machine here, I can, you know, do this without any issue. But if it's a smaller thing, I've done many hats on that 4x4 machine, and I've taken many orders for hats on my smaller machine. So yes, but this one just makes it a lot easier with the cap driver. It really does. But it's a habit. It's a habit. I'm sorry, Miss Barbara. The price that I charge for my hats depends on the design. I am not very many embroiderers like the stitch count price, but I actually find it very comfortable. So a lot of my price depends on the stitch count of the design, how many times I have to change colors. Because I do have the multi-needle, I don't mind doing 5 colors or less, you know, all one price. But if it's over 6, 7, 8 colors, then I may charge extra for the color changes. But the hats, I charge for the hat if I have to get it. I also have a minimum that I charge on any embroidery. I don't care what it is. So it could be one letter A this big on a hat, and there's a minimum charge that I'm going to do it for. Sorry, you know, because I'm still taking my time to use my professional services and my equipment to get this done for you, you know, so I'm going to have a minimum charge for me to even come in here and turn the machine on to use it. So there is a minimum charge. You need to determine what your minimum is going to be, whether that be $5, whether that be $10, whether that be, you know, $15, whatever your minimum is. Make sure you have one, because if you don't, you'll find yourself doing small jobs and feeling like, you know, you just didn't accomplish anything, and feel taken advantage of, and you don't want to do that. I promise you, you don't want that feeling. I've done it before. So I learned my lesson. I have a minimum. And then after my minimum, you know, if somebody's coming in, I don't know who's coming in. Hey, oh, it's my son. If y'all want to see my son. What's up with people visiting me while I'm live?
And they don't want to see this cute face.
Oh my god.
Nah, I'm just playing.
Anyways, what you doing?
Came over here to see.
He came over here to see what we gonna eat. How old are you again? This boy 17 years old coming over here to ask me what we gonna eat. You can have waffles, I don't mind. You ain't 16. So you ain't 6, you 17. But anyways, everybody says hi. Well, Miss Blake says hi, son. Miss Susan said he's funny. No, he's not funny.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
He about to get this right here. So make sure you have a minimum. Why are you leaving my door open?
You need doggy visitors too.
I don't want the dogs in here today. Sorry. So yeah, make sure you have a minimum. You can have the waffles if you want them. make sure you have a minimum, and I do by stitch count. So if the stitch count is less than my minimum, I leave it at my minimum. I don't mind doing that, but some people, you know, they don't like doing that. They want, you know, minimum plus, and that's not how I work, but that's just how I am. You're welcome, Miss Purple One. Hello everyone. Miss Social Deb, I know, right? I said I was gonna sneak in and come online and show the Peggy Stitch Eraser, which I haven't gotten to yet, and I kind of hate been talking, which is fine actually, but I do need to hoop a hat and have that running. Miss Barbara, I'm so jealous. I wish I had a multi-needle machine. I know, and it is a blessing that I have it. I'm trying to tell you, because had it been left up to just me, I still wouldn't have it, most likely. So I am very grateful for my machine, and it has been wonderful using it and learning lessons, figuring things out. Like today, for instance, as I was showing with the hats being not lined up centered, so I had to figure out how to get this image placed the way she wanted it, right? So I was constantly adjusting it and going based off of the screen, which logically it should have lined up the way I wanted to based on the screen, but it still wasn't. And I just kind of got frustrated because I did a couple of hats and started them and wound up with the Peggy Stitch Eraser, taking out stitches and stuff. And it hit me, duh, print out a template of the design that you're embroidering and line it up based on the template. I haven't had an issue yet by lining it up off of the template. So there are still some things that I'm having to remind myself and remember to do, and you know, likewise. But I love that machine. It's been amazing. You're mobile and still with me. Yay, I'm glad you are. Do you usually make a sample first for the customer? Yes, I do. This particular customer, I went ahead and stitched it on a hat because I know these hats aren't terribly expensive, and I could easily get another one if the customer didn't like it. But I have another hat somewhere that I did for a customer the other day, and I just knew he would love it. But then when I stitched it out on the hat, and he was like, "Oh, hold up, I don't like the way that turned out." Matter of fact, it's the picture. If you are in, hi Miss Lee, how are you? If you are in Embroidery Boss, you saw that I posted a picture of it and was like, okay, the customer wants this particular part of the logo to stand out more. What do you guys think? So did they supply the hats for you? Yes, ma'am. I don't keep inventory. Rarely do I keep inventory unless it's something that I really, really like. Like for instance, this hat, I bought several of these because my niece is ECU, and I figure hopefully her mom, and I know a couple of other people, ECU parents. So I was hoping that maybe by doing her a hat, it would spur orders. So I have 3 extra of these to make more hats in the event that I get the orders. But even if I don't, purple's my favorite color. Excuse me. So I know I can either make more hats for myself or whatever. And those hats aren't very expensive. So, but any other customers, no, they buy their hats, and I don't order anything until it's paid. Sorry. Miss Candia Hainsworth of Candia Hainsworth Designs has a YouTube channel as well, and she teaches a lot of different things for business owners, embroidery business owners. She's very good, very logical, very strong business sense, and that's one definite thing I picked up from her, and I really appreciated getting that information from her, because now I do not order anything until the customer has paid for the order. When they pay for the order, I place the order, get their supplies, and go ahead and do the embroidery. And it saved me a lot of headaches. It really has, because sometimes they find out, oh, hey, you already bought it? Okay, well, let me go ahead and get it, but you haven't paid for it yet. What are you talking about? So once in every blue moon, I do have a couple of customers that I really implicitly trust, and I'll go ahead and order whatever it is for them because they've done business with me before. But I still have other customers that I've done business with quite a bit, and I'm sorry, I'm not going to order anything until it's, you know, paid for. So that being the case, I hope that's something that will prove helpful to anyone that's in here and they have a business and they're wanting to make sure that things run smoothly for their business. Another tip that I've learned for a business is if you don't do PayPal, use PayPal. You can send an invoice and not even think about it. The customer can pay for it. I mean, in detailed invoice. Oh man, I am falling in love with PayPal invoicing. It has been wonderful for me because I don't care for paperwork. I don't like complicated things. I don't like a bunch of drama, a bunch of papers, all that kind of stuff. You can put your terms of service down in the notes and leave that, like you can lock it in where every time you do an invoice, those terms of service are still down there. So you can type that in, forget about it, and then do your invoices. I love it. So if you're thinking about a way to invoice your customers and you haven't done so yet, check out PayPal invoicing. It is very convenient. And I love it very much. So I'm going to go ahead and get another hoop on so that we can get some Peggy's stitches erasing. Well, my stitches erased by the Peggy Stitch Eraser. And hi, Sprint 29able. You made it. Thank you for making it in. I'm getting ready to hoop a hat because I'm working while I'm in here with you guys. So I don't know if you can still see me or hear me, but I'm going to be working because I have an order that I need to make sure that I get out before the storm hits. Well, that's the plan anyway, is to make sure that I get her taken care of before the storm. So otherwise, if you can hear me, way over here. But I definitely love my hat hoop. It has been a lifesaver. Not quite as life-saving as the Peggy Stitch Eraser, but it has been. So the hat hoop has lines and markings to let you make sure that everything is lined up the way it's supposed to be. And what I did not do first that I should have, I printed out a template on, I used Sew What Pro to print out a template of the design. And now I can use the gray crosshairs to line it up, center it on the hat, and help me make 100% sure that it's centered on the machine and adjust the machine to make sure that it's lined up where it's supposed to be. So this I should have done in the beginning and I didn't do that. All right, so what we are going to do is have some fun with the Peggy Stitch Eraser. Oh, I'm glad you can hear me loud and clear. Thank you. Regina Young, Diane Starling, welcome. Thank you guys for coming in today. Satara is here from Embroidery Designs and more. I meant to say so excited. Welcome from Embroidery Designs. Thank you. I did your key fob the other day. So cute. Peggy Stitch Eraser is cute. Is cool. I used a man's razor before it. I have heard from many people that there's a men's razor at Walmart that you can get and use it. And I got a funny story to tell you guys. while I'm erasing the stitches on that about the men's razor. Miss D Purple 1, what do you, in the case of a customer bring you the items they want embroidered and don't pick them up? I keep them, I showed you guys in the Dollar Tree video. I get these bags from Dollar Tree. This size, I don't know which size this is. I want to say this is the extra large. This is the extra large size. It's not the large size. So there's 2 of these bags in the box. So I get this and I put the customer's order in it so that it is protected in the event of rain or not rain. Well, yeah, because when they come to pick it up, it's in plastic. If it's raining outside, their stuff won't get wet. But if they haven't picked it up for a while, I just stick it in here and set it out in the main part of my garage in a special area for completed orders, so that if they did come by and pick it up and say, for instance, I'm not here, the kids know where to get it and it's in plastic. Nothing's wrong with it. That's what happens if they don't come pick it up. I don't get rid of it or anything. I just store it for them, you know. So that's what I do with that. Miss Thurman asks, when centering, do you use your template and align your needle accordingly if it is not straight? That is absolutely correct. I can do that. Fortunately, with the cap driver, the straightness of it is pretty dead on. You don't really have too much issues with that, but the alignment, you know, right to left is what I really have to worry about with that. You're welcome, Miss Purple One. So off to the main thing, we are going to erase this logo because it is not where the customer wants it to be on this hat. Okay, so worst case scenario, just to let you know, worst case scenario would be we use the razor and we go in too hard, too deep and cut the hat. Who cares? I can get another hat, because that's something that I probably would have done anyway. That had I not had this, is I would just go get another hat, because who wants to sit there with a seam ripper and take all these daggum stitches out? So I thought that this would be really cool. You're welcome, Miss Thurman. I thought this would be really cool to do with you guys live so that you can see it in action, right? So with the Peggy Stitch Eraser, which there is a link to this one below. This one is cordless, and it came fully charged when I got it, and then I plugged it up after I used it, and I haven't had it go dead on me yet. And I've had it a week. And you can purchase new blades if for whatever reason this one goes dull, and all you do is just pop it right off. It comes right off, and as you see, this one needs to be cleaned out. It looks tragic. But this is, taking it off reminded me of that funny story I meant to tell you. And then you just pop it right back on, just like that. Easy peasy mac and cheesy. And you can order more of the blades online, not hard to get. So when you use this, the thing is to use it on the back side of the design, right? Now, for me as a woman who don't use this kind of razor, my thought process was to do like dog grooming, right? And go like this on the back of the embroidery design. Well, this is not how you use it, or this is not what I have found to be effective, I should say, in trying to get rid of stitches. What you should do is use it this way. And what you're basically doing is using these little teeth, because as it's on and this thing vibrates back and forth, they're basically cutting into anything head on. So all your stitches, what you're going to do is just pretty much, you know, you can lay it, and if you have to, you can move it briefly and then move to the next little row, and it doesn't even have to be by row. Man, I'm trying to tell y'all, this thing is phenomenal. So what I'm hoping you'll be able to see, and as a matter of fact, we're going to do it like this. We're going to turn it inside out so that you can see it better. All right, so here it is, and I'm going to show you. You just take it like this and you turn it on. And here are your bobbin threads. So I'm just gonna lay it on there, and as it's on there, you can see if it's working or not, because you'll see the threads start to fuzz up some. So I'm looking at it and not sure that y'all can see it or not. Hold on, let me try and get around this microphone so that you can see. Can you see good? I don't know. Can you see? So even if need be, you can use, you know, the little teeth on the edge, but you're basically going into these threads and you're cutting them. Can you see the thread standing up? I don't know. I hope you can see that. Okay, see how that's cutting? You can roll it across, you can scrub it across, whatever you need to do. Whatever you need to do to get these stitches out. Can you see? I don't want to hold the hat in the way, and then I don't want to cut my hat either, so I'm trying to make sure I can see it and you can see too. So I'm going all the way down this design and coming all the way back up. And like I said, technically you can use a straight edge razor to do the same thing. The difference is you don't really have very good control with a straight edge razor. It's really easy to cut straight through these stitches and through to the front side of the hat. With this, you gotta really be concentrated in one space doing like this for an extended period in order to cut through the hat. So that's why this thing is just like really amazing. So again, I'm just doing it in certain areas of the design on the back side of these bobbin threads. And you can see that the bobbin threads will start to stand up, you know, as you're cutting them, right? Okay, not much, right? I've trimmed it some, not trimmed it, but cut through those bobbin stitches on the back. And you turn it back to the front. The front looks exactly the same. Disappointing. They're supposed to be gone. No, you still have to work. So this is where I suggest having, if I can find them. What did I do with them? Oh, here they are. This is where I suggest having a good pair of flat tweezers, right? You see these? They're kind of angled. You can get them from Walmart or wherever. Just a pair of tweezers. These have a rubber grip, thank the good Lord. Keep those handy, right? You also want to keep handy your seam ripper, even though for the most part you won't need it. But I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you this with the seam ripper. Look. Well, actually, I'm not even going to use it because you might think the seam ripper is working. So you can, look at that. See those stitches coming up off of there? There. And if I get one just right, you almost can just pull that top thread and it'll unravel all the way through the hat. Okay, so let me use these and just pull up these stitches. And I can cut more on the back side to do even more, but that's the entire design. You just pull the stitches off the front. Now, it looks like I'm struggling, but I'm really not. If you wanted to, you can even go on the front and cut that off. You can do some on the front, but I wouldn't really suggest doing the front per se because of the possibility of cutting the hat. But if you're careful and only going on the design, you can do the front of the hat too, right? So, and then I just, like I said, instead of working super hard, I just go ahead and use the tweezers and pick these out. But of course I didn't cut very many. Hold on. Oh, I see what I did. It's hard to do this backwards where I'm showing y'all, but I can't see it myself. And then too, it don't help that I'm blind at the back. Okay, there we go. Now it's fluffing up the way it's because I can see. There we go. All right. My machine is done. I'm sorry. I know y'all can't see, but I needed to be able to see. All right. So these Bob and Stitches was trying to, y'all was trying to embarrass me. She said that thing was working and she was struggling. My bad. There we go. Now, back to the funny story. Woo! Y'all got me sweating. Alright, that's gonna work a lot better to get that off of there. My dad, you guys know, he like surprised me and popped in the other day. I didn't even know he was coming. And he came because I did a hat for him. Gosh, it's been months ago. And the hat that I did for him, he remembered that I had messed up on that hat for this was when I first got the machine and was doing hats on it, and the hats were going, I didn't really know how to hoop the hat to make sure it was straight. So the design that I put on that one particular hat ended up being crooked because I didn't double check it to make sure that it was straight. And you're welcome, Miss Judy Lewis. Big difference between using this and using a man's razor? No, it's not a big difference, but it is a difference. What will nail brush to take out the threads? Probably, but I like this so that I can make sure I get the little teeny threads. I'm late. I was busy picking stitches out of a shirt today. Guess I should have watched you. No, you're fine. That did the hat pretty fast. It does it really quick. And if you take the time and go all over the back, you know, even more, then yeah, I can get these stitches out faster than what I'm doing, but I'm just taking my time. I don't know why. For me, there's something, and I hate to say this because it's gonna sound crazy to some of you guys, but, and I say it crazy, my bad. Ugh, gotta go in the crazy jar. It's something just sitting here soothing about picking out stitches. I told you guys my aunts love to pick stitches too. See, that was one where when you pull it, the threads just unravel. It's really cool when it does that. But you asked about using a man's razor from what I understand, which was getting to the funny story. The men's razor, the depth of the blade is different. It's not as, her blades are shallow and closer together, whereas a man's blade is a little bit deeper to avoid cutting the skin. How I know that. So back to my dad coming over. He and my mom came when I first got the stitch eraser. And I told him, I was like, look at what I have. I said, I have, you know, the stitch eraser. And my mom was like, how does that work? And so when I showed her, she was like, neat. And she took, I can't remember what I was working on. And she used the eraser and she was sitting there playing with it. Because like I said, we like destroying things and picking things apart. And my mom was like, well, this is really cool. And my dad said, well, if it works like that, where's that hat you messed up on? I said, Dad, the hat is, I don't know where it's at. He was like, I think it's in here. So he went and he found the hat. He remembered where it was. It was funny. I still don't know how he remembered where it was at. So he went and got that daggum hat. And so he's like, I want to see it. So he got the razor from my mom and he started working on that hat. Long story that day short, They worked over here for about 20 minutes or so using the razor, picking stitches. Mom got all of the stitches out of what she was doing, but my dad's, it was a pretty big design on the hat. So it took him a while to get all the stitches out of his. So he just set the hat to the side and they left because I had to go somewhere. So they left. The other day, Sunday, while I was doing live, my dad pops in. I didn't know he was coming. And he came in. Yeah, I know. That's why I sent you a message, Miss Cat. And yes, Miss Debbie Kidd says the peanut is supposed to be the same thing. It's supposed to be. So my dad came Sunday to see me. And he was like, where's that hat? So I said, because he didn't finish it. I said, it's right there. So he got the hat and he got the stitch eraser. So he sat there and there wasn't much left. And he worked on it and he used the stitch eraser and he got the going and he got all of the stitches out of that hat. It's like, cool. All right, well, thanks. I appreciate you doing that. And what I'll do is redo the hat for you for Monday or whenever it was. I was supposed to give it back to him. So he was still sitting there. And he says, didn't you have a mirror in here? A mirror? Yeah, I got a mirror. It's right here. I said, no, you are not finna use my stitch eraser. I just want to see if it works. I'm like, oh my God, Dad, are you kidding me right now? I just want to see how well it He was like, oh my gosh, this thing is super sharp. Like, Dad, just be careful. That's my stitch eraser. It's not meant for you to use it. It's for me. So he goes to use it and he's sitting there shaving and I'm like, what did you do? I thought he cut himself. He messed around and cut the part of his mustache off because he cut too close. It was too sharp and he got too good. Man, that thing is too... He had to cut his whole mustache off because he cut too close using my stitch eraser. And my mom loves the mustache and she's like, that's what you get because you shouldn't have been using that baby's thing. 41 years old. You shouldn't have been using that baby's thing on your face. So, yes, the peanut is supposed to be the same thing, but according to my dad, it's sharper than the peanut. So, there was one that unraveled when you pull it. I love it when it does that. So, yes, the men's razor can do the same thing, but from what I understand, the Peggy stitch eraser is sharper than the peanut. So you can give it a shot, but the link that I have below, it's cordless for $69. Of course, I think plus tax. I can't remember if Amazon charges tax or not. But, yep, see, unraveling. I love it when it unravels. So at any rate, this is the Peggy stitch eraser, and I'm gonna sit here live until I get all these dang on stitches out of here, because I want you guys to see, even though I'm tugging on it like I am, I want you to see how clean it is once all of the stitches are out and my hat is finished behind me. I need to get it, but I do enjoy pulling out these stupid stitches. Even though I hate messing up, it makes me mad. So at any rate, I know Miss Blake said, hoop another hat. Tell him to come visit you so we can see that. Dude. He might pop up. I don't know. If I told him I was live, he'd come too. Because he told me, he said, well, you let them people know that was in there that the way they saw me ain't the same way I am now. So I'm not telling them that because they'll know you use my stuff. But I had to tell that story because that thing was funny. I laughed at him the rest of that day because I'm like, you should not have been using my eraser, my Peggy stitch eraser. So I'm just going back over it because as you pull stitches, it unlocks other stitches that are up under them, and I want to make sure that I don't have to tug too much. I'm trying to tell y'all. I normally, you know how I am. I don't promote anything unless I use it and I love it and I know how it benefits me. I don't promote anything. So I'm telling you, what is the other tool? Seam ripper. This is just tweezers, only to help me get these, pull them out, because of the arthritis in my hands. If I don't, I've tried pulling out stitches with just my hands before, and unfortunately that action, I wind up with very, very sore fingers the next morning. And sometimes my hand cramps so bad through the night that my husband has to help me open my hand. So I have to be really careful. And I have found that these stupid tweezers, even though I shouldn't call them stupid, but these tweezers are very helpful for that. So I am just pulling these stitches out one by one. And yeah, I know, I'm Miss Blake, you're right. I'm supposed to hoop another hat, but I don't know. Am I correct? I'm not gonna say the whole word. Am I weird for enjoying pulling out stitches? Is that weird? Does that sound weird to y'all? Being destructive. I hate messing up though. I don't like messing up of order, especially when I'm on a roll. It makes me mad. So at any rate, hopefully this will prove helpful to you in your sewing studio, because you don't have to pull out the seam ripper as much. I didn't cut that well. I'm gonna have to cut that some more. I thought that was gonna be one that would unravel. There we go. Wanted to show y'all that. That's really cool when it unravels all the way down. So back to, while doing this, of course, I still want to know about you guys and how you guys have been doing. Who else in here tonight, because I show 40 of you, who else seems to be in the path of this hurricane that's coming that I am a little bit stressed out about, because we're gonna have to evacuate. My husband has already made that determination, so we will be rolling out at some point on Tuesday. Hoop another head. What's the other two? Okay, thanks. Pulling glue off your hands. Yeah, you do, Miss Greenwell. Thank you. I don't feel so weird. No volume. Who else can't hear me? Can anybody else hear me? Can the rest of you hear me? I haven't had any issues with volume tonight, so that's interesting to hear. And sometimes I pull stitches. I am, but not my immediate family is in Florida. Oh no. I'm sorry. I hope they are going to be okay. Okay, everybody else can hear. You may have to do F5, Miss Young, to refresh your browser. You may have to do F5. F5 will refresh. So yeah, you just sit here. Oh, wait a minute. No, I asked who else. D. Oh my God, Miss D. What are you gonna do now? You're in Jacksonville. I have a cousin in Jacksonville, so I hope you have plans in place, Miss Ma'am. Are you hunkering down, or are you going to shelter in place? Oh, wait a minute, I asked that. Shelter in place and hunker down is the same thing. Are you going to shelter in place, or are you leaving? Because I am very, very, very nervous about this particular storm. Sheltering in place. My niece is in Jacksonville with the Navy. Yeah, my cousin is in Jacksonville with the Navy as well. Well, her husband is in the Navy. She's military as well, but she's not Navy. I forget what she is. She gonna kill me dead when she know I forget. And just to get some of those fuzzies out the way, I'd go ahead and shave it like normal. Because them fuzzies is getting away from me being able to see. It's snowing! It's snowing bobbin thread. Oh, look. I got a new color dress. It's red, white, and blue. And black. I'm just standing up, showing y'all my gut. I'm trying craziness with that. So I am going to keep at this. Now imagine how much longer this would be if I was using the seam ripper. Just the seam ripper. Or how much more dangerous this would have been for the hat anyway, if I had been using a straight edge razor. Now a men's razor, like the kind that we women shave our legs with, not the automatic kind. Somebody told me I could use one of those as well. And I did try that, but that was months ago that I had tried that. And what I found is that can work, because essentially what you're doing is this exact same thing. Is you're shaving and taking your time and shaving down. And you can do this the same way too, but I found that takes a bit longer and you run the risk of cutting your fabric. Oh, and I will mention this too. I would not use this on fleece or flannel because, of course, fleece or flannel has pile, and this will shave your fleece or flannel. So I would not use that for that. That's the only thing I haven't used it for yet. Now, somebody else may have. Now, a couple of people in here said that they have the stitch eraser. If you have the stitch eraser and you've used it on fleece or flannel, let me know. Because I would love to know if you were successful using it. And I'm just going across the front to get rid of some of these threads that are standing up. They do not suggest that you use this on the front. So I am breaking Peggy's stitch eraser rules by doing that. But they don't suggest you use it on the front. Hope everyone's machines and fabric be okay. Miss Cat, oh my God. I happen to think about that. Now for me, a lot of my fabric is in tubs. I keep a lot of my fabric in tubs. A lot of important fabric I keep in the same bags that I showed earlier from Dollar Tree. So important fabric goes in there, and the lesser important fabric is just sitting in the tub itself. All right, all my bears, most of my teddy bears for the baskets are in bags. I keep them in bags. And look, see, it's just coming right off. Oh my gosh. So a lot of my fabric will be okay. Every time I get something for a cousin. I was reading and was saying what I was reading. Every time I get a customer order, like the shirts that were in that bag is for a customer. She has more hats over there, even though I just got her hats today. What I do is I put the customer's order in plastic bags immediately and seal them up. Because what I have found is if for whatever reason I don't get to the order right away and it takes me a week or so, that way I know if anything were to happen, or like I've mentioned many times before, my studio is in a garage. So of course it's not the main house, and actually this room sat vacant. The whole house actually was vacant for 5 years before we moved in. It belonged to an elderly person, and she passed. And while she was in the nursing facility or whatever. The house was empty. So we bought the house, and you know, rodents and all that other kind of stuff had been in. So we had to do, you know, pest control and all that kind of jazz. But anyway, everyone knows that the garage usually isn't pest controlled as well as the house, even though I did have it sprayed and treated. But just to be on the safe side, it's still a garage, so I make sure all of my customer stuff is packed in plastic as soon as I get it. So hopefully, I was hoping to have that order done before, but I'm waiting on the customer to respond to a change that they requested. And if he doesn't respond in time, I'm not going to be able to get that order done before we evacuate. So his stuff is in plastic. So as long as it doesn't blow to Kingdom Come, then his order should be fine when we get back. But if all of this gets blown to Kingdom Come, then I'm gonna lose his stuff. I'm gonna have to I'll most likely replace it with insurance, of course, but replace his stuff. I'll probably replace it sooner than insurance, but kind of sucks to sit here and think about it like that. How much of Africa do we see? Not very much of Africa left. Matter of fact, trusty lint rollers that I keep from Dollar Tree at all times. Nope. That's coming off, and then sometimes I'll work some from the back to make sure, just, you know, scrape at it, peel it off, whatever I can. Because sometimes getting the, you know, messing with the bobbin thread on the back helps loosen on the front and make sure that the stuff comes off. And get it going. Oh, Miss Young. Okay, I'm glad it was the laptop and not YouTube. Miss Sharon Blake says, looks like my ragdoll cat was on your lap. Oh, I bet your kitty is cute. I like ragdoll kitties. They are adorbs. Miss Debbie Kid, I have 100 hats front and back that I need. Woo, front and back? Oh my God, you poor thing. Even though I'd be sitting there watching TV or listening to something, some good music or something, and I'll get the ripping stitches. You had a stitch eraser but didn't care for it? Oh, no, don't say so. I didn't think I was going to care for it personally, but then once I got to using it, I love it. This thing has made me a believer. It really has. Oh my God. And you guys know what else is funny? I'm going to show it to you in a minute. Sometimes I do not use Peggy. Sometimes where did you go? Sharp craft knife back down the bottom. And if it's something that I'm not 100% concerned that I will cut, I have used the razor. But because I am known to be heavy-handed and, you know, get happy with erasers and such, razors and such, I've cut one too many things, Miss Debbie. Miss Sprintable. So hopefully I apologize, Sprintable. So I choose to do the stitch eraser now because it's safe for me. Yeah, see, that was a bunch of stitches in this one area. Whoop, so it's not wanting to come out like it's supposed to. Use on where do you get your bears? I got my bears from Walmart and Walgreens back at the end of Christmas and at the end of Valentine's Day and at the end of Easter. And I bagged them so that I will have bears when it's time for, like, I put one in a package. What's today? Thursday. I put one in a package Tuesday or Wednesday. Tuesday or yesterday. I can't remember. Monday. I think it was Monday. Do you use the same color bobbin as your thread on general embroidery? No, I do not. Now, okay, actually, you know what? Let me back up. On the small 4x4 machines, when I notice that my tension is off, and I've cleaned it out, I've checked the bobbin, and I've got a new needle, and it's still wanting to act monkey and show just a little bit of the bobbin thread, then in some of those instances, until I can get my machine looked at, I will use the same color bobbin thread. It helps hide the fact that the tension is off a little bit, which sucks, but because you just should really just get the machine fixed and looked at. But I have done that. Freestanding lace, I do use the same color bobbin thread as the top thread, and that video I was supposed to have recorded this week, and as you guys unfortunately see, I did not get that recorded. I apologize. I've been slack the last couple of weeks. Actually, I apologize to y'all because I've been very slack in getting my videos out this week and last week. Last week I was just like blah, you know, kind of out of it a little bit, and this week I've just been busy. Oh my god, just like slammed with so much that has to be done. It's coming out. It's coming out. I want the world to know. Peggy, let it go. Oh, that's what I was gonna show y'all. Something funny. Hold on. Oh. So I ordered the stitch eraser, and it comes in a cute little box. See, this is the little box that it came in. It's a little piece of a box. But what was funny to me about it, y'all, can somebody tell me why Miss Peggy felt the need to throw gang signs on her product? And can somebody explain that? Like, what side? Is that what is she saying? Or is she saying I love you? What is that? What she got going on? My daughter seems to think that that is the secret gang sign to embroidery people. So from now on, while we're in here and I do this, this is the secret embroidery gang sign. We're part of the embroidery gang. Yeah, somebody needs to answer that question and get up with Miss Peggy and find out for me what she was doing, because my daughter and I, the 18-year-old, we was rolling when we saw the picture on the box. No offense to Miss Peggy. I mean, I'm impressed if she, you know, she repping stitch, repping the embroidery service. I'm just saying. It does look like I love you, but I was just like, but her facial expression does not really say I love you. I don't know. I just thought it was hilarious to me. I mean, I got a crazy. I have a weird sense of humor. So yeah. So I'm telling y'all now, this is the sign for we repping embroidery set. So, shoot. I pulled the hat stitch because I wasn't paying attention. Look at this. It's coming out. Just taking time. But it's sure going a heck of a lot faster than if I had that goddamn seam ripper. Whew. I'm gonna tell you. But anyway, who else in here is running from the storm? Just in case anybody else popped in since the last time I asked. You know what? I wonder, is Candia in here? If she is, I'm gonna go to Candia's house. Cause she's up in New Jersey. Ain't no hurricane up there. New Jersey. Who else is out of the way of hurricane? I'll come to your house. Wait a minute. I got 3 dogs and a cat. So you might not want to be bothered with my 3 dogs and my cat. And a husband who's probably worse than the 3 dogs and the cat. Because he's spoiled. Look at that. Oh, this is coming out. What do you do if your customers think... Oh, I already answered that question. Am I the only one in here that does this for a hobby? Are you talking about embroidery? Because I started it as a hobby. And it kind of... Someone found out what I was doing. And they spread the word and it just took off from there, actually. So was just it wasn't supposed to be a full-fledged business, but it ended up being such. I have to pull that from the back. Hello, Miss Valerie Hill. I embroidery as a hobby also, and you're in Kansas. Louisville, Kentucky. Louisville, Kentucky. Ooh, you are out the way. You are out the way. I saw that because we have, my husband has contractors that work in is it Kentucky? No, they're in Tennessee, right there beside Kentucky. We had contracts in Kentucky, but we got rid of them. What part of Kentucky was he in? Can't remember. How long have you been embroidering? Joni Thurman, I have been embroidering for 2 years now. For 2 years. Which you would probably think with me doing videos that it was longer than that, but I don't know everything when it comes to embroidery, but what I do know I share with others because I know that there are others who are starting as well. And when I started, I had very little help, very little guidance, and it was very frustrating for me. And when I finally did get guidance and help, actually there's a lot of help. If you don't know, there are a lot of groups on Facebook that offer willingly, people offer guidance and help free-heartedly. So if you are interested in getting some additional help, some additional guidance, go on Facebook and search for embroidery groups. There's I know Sew It Pro, So Help Me with Sew It Pro is a group that I am in and part of, and you can get assistance with Sew It Pro there. There's also Embroidery Boss if you are a serious hobbyist and or you do it as a business, you can get help there. That's a big group, a really big group, and there's a lot of people in there that use multi-head machines and that have been doing embroidery for many years, and they are very helpful in there, so you can check that out. Also, YouTube of course has many videos, which is why I am here. Why can't you say crazy? I can say crazy. Miss Lewis, I can say it. The thing is, usually, especially live, I say it a lot because to me that's just a go-to word. I'm like, oh my god, I'm so crazy, or man, that is crazy, and I say it a lot. So one of the videos live I was doing, I heard myself say it about 4 times in the video. So ever since then I said I'm gonna do a crazy jar, like a swearing jar, because I don't swear. But I was going to do a crazy jar, and so that's what the jar is for. To stop me from saying words repetitively. I just started embroidering, but since I already sew, I'm trying to combine the two into a business, D. Barrett. That's a good idea, especially if you and Irene Benavides. I also only embroider for a hobby. Eve, what do you do if your customers' things get damaged during a storm? How do you know the value? Well, I would know the value because in my instance, as of right now, I would know the value because I bought it. Now, I do have one item over there. It's a set of bed sheets I did not buy that I will be embroidering. I don't know the value of that because I did not buy that, but it's in plastic. It's it's still in the plastic because she bought it brand new, and I haven't taken it out of the plastic, and it's in more plastic. So what my intention is for some of those things is to make sure they're in containers and up under heavy items in my garage so that hopefully they won't get blown away. That's the goal. Of course, there's no guarantees because who has control over the wind? It will not be I, and it cannot be I. So, but in the event of that, I will check with her and see how much she, well, that's a family friend, so I don't have to worry about her saying, well, she paid $5,000 for them, and then I have to come up with 5,000. I trust her, so I don't have to worry about that from her. But other people, I would probably get receipts or something, how much they paid for it. What are the bags called that you get from the dollar store, Adam? I'll have to show you the box. I have to show you the box. I usually don't keep those in here. Usually I take them out in the big garage because I put those in the recycle bin. So I'll run out there and grab a box. Hopefully I won't forget, and show you what that box looks like. But I think they're just called storage bags. I think zip storage bags or something to that effect. Because it's basically the same thing as a big Ziploc bag. You say your stitch eraser is printable. I use on all fabrics, but if you use it on the straight line of the bobbin, it is faster and easier to control, harder on lettering. Yeah, unless it's like the satin stitches lettering. I love doing those. Ethel Warren. Hey, Miss Ethel Warren. Welcome. Hi, Eve. Come to Illinois. The weather is perfect. I've got a marvelous craft lab my hubby built for me in the basement. We will have a ball. You know what? I need to come to Illinois. I have an auntie there that will love to see me and her nieces, great nieces, on my husband's side. So I do need to come. She's in O'Fallon, Illinois, actually. So I do need to come up that way and visit with her. And I also have family in Kansas City, Missouri. So, and that's not far at all from O'Fallon. What part of Illinois are you in, Miss Ethel Warren? You are so good. Kat says, I thought my husband was pranking me. I had 2 tubs of fabric fall on you. Oh my gosh. Oh no, we don't want fabric falling on your head now. We don't want nothing falling on your head for that matter. Why is this being stubborn? I got a couple of pieces that's being stubborn, so I'm gonna go back on the back again. Or I could come across the front because it's sticking up pretty good. Alright, let's see where we are. I'm gonna use the lint roller and see how much we got left to pick. It's just something about sitting here pulling out these stitches, y'all. This is a trip. And who knew you would be logging in and watching me pick stitches? How horrible is that? But just showing you how the Peggy stitch works. That was one where it unravels itself. The kind I like. What was that? That was Madagascar, wasn't it? That island right off of Africa. That's what I just pulled off the head. Sorry, Madagascar. Marty. What I do with the lint roller right here. That's where we are right now. And on the inside, it's hard to see because the bobbin thread is white, but that's where we are. And look, I pulled on the, what is that called? That seam, and cut it with the razor. So that's why I say you have to be careful with the razor because it's still a blade. I don't know why I can't see. And then on this one little section, I didn't cut through it very well. we're getting there, and I'm getting more colorful by the minute. And pretty much what I'm going to do after pulling out all of these stitches, I'm just going to put it right back on the machine and stitch it again in the place that the customer wanted. And hopefully it won't take too, it only takes 11 minutes to stitch out her design. So hopefully you guys, I won't hold you too terribly long, and you'll be able to see what it looks like with, why does that not want to come out? Stupid thing. You'll be able to see how it looks stitched and see if we can tell really well where the stitches were before. What happened? Why are you having to pick stitches out of the hat? I had the I hooped the hat. I embroidered the design, which this one I just noticed that it must have moved because part of my design has white in it, but this is the full design. And the customer wanted the tip of Africa down here in the middle of that dip. She wanted it in the middle of the seam, but lining the design up in the middle, it wouldn't have lined up like that. Which this is how this one was. This one was straight according to the design and the hat. But she didn't want it that way. She wanted it off center just a smidge so that Africa would line up a certain way. So I was going to not throw the hat away or anything like that, but to make sure that she had a nice hat, all the hats were like they were supposed to be, I just decided I'm gonna erase the stitches out of it and redo it for her so that she won't have one wrong. Even though I told her, you know, because before I stitched one hat centered like it was, and I sent a picture as a sample, said, hey, you know, how you like it? Does this look good? This is what you want. She said, I absolutely love it. Yes. Cool beans. I said, because actually what I said was, do you like it? How does it look? Because if it meets your okay, then I'll go ahead and do the rest. And she said, I love it. Looks great. Yes. So I started on the next hats, and then into the second, third hat, she sends me an email, or I see my email, and she's saying, oh, can you bump Africa over a little bit? I can. However, you have two hats already stitched that way, so those are going to be not lined up the way you want it, because I had already gotten authorization from her that it was good, that that's how she wanted it. So I decided, for the sake of you guys and to show the Peggy Stitch Eraser, because I think it's really cool, even though I recorded a video of a review of sorts of the Peggy Stitch Eraser, but I thought it would be fun to do it live, especially since I decided to cancel doing live on Thursdays. And, you know, to be 100% bluntly honest, we never know what tomorrow may bring. And with such a huge storm coming down on us, and we being in the path of the storm, having to evacuate, anything can happen in life. So my thing was, you know, I never know when I'll be able to go live again. I don't know when I'll be able to upload videos again. Like, say for instance, if our power is out here when I come back, or if my studio is damaged or destroyed. I wanted to have another live video so that if I weren't able to do live for quite some time, I would have one more time going live with you guys because I enjoy doing it so much. So I'm just going down, getting these strands here. And as I mentioned before, they don't suggest you do this on the front of the item because you can cut the item. But for some reason, that's one little section ain't wanting to cut right on the back. So I'm cutting a little bit on the front. But I also just wanted to show the stitch eraser and how well it works for me live and in color, high definition. Oh my God. There we go. Them stitches is in there tight, Jackson. There we go. All right. Do you use contracts for your customers? No, I don't. I do not. But I do outline, you know, terms of service that you've paid. I appreciate you paying. Your order will be done within this certain time frame. Usually they know, I let them know ahead of time, 2 to 4 weeks before they even pay. I let them know that. Also, I let them know that because my items are custom in nature, there are no refunds. However, I will do whatever in my power to strive to keep the customer happy. So if that means eating material, redoing a project, or trading it out for something different, we'll do that, but no refunds. But that's the extent of it. I don't do contracts. And now that I think about it, I did not have to pull out every single bit of this because a lot of this is going to be recovered again, but so all right, this piece up, there we go. I had to cut through it better on the back. It's unraveling. Do I need to get reading glasses all of a sudden? Shit, I can't see. There we go. I'm getting old, y'all. I'm gonna have to do glasses. Reading glasses. Yeah. So, what do y'all think so far? Worth it or not? As these young folk like to say. Something or not? If you think that it's worth it, if you find it beneficial, and you have enjoyed sitting and watching me pluck away with tweezers at this hat, look down in the description below and please click the affiliate link to purchase your own pair of Peggy Stitch Eraser clippers. There's still a little bit down there that I need to cut again, and Madagascar up at the tip is being stubborn. That was Madagascar, right? I hope I wasn't lying to y'all. And Madagascar was the little island off of Africa, because as I have mentioned on numerous occasions, I did not do well in geography. Am I cutting it? I think I'm cutting it. Oh, and Peggy's Stitch Eraser does not compensate for going blind due to getting older. What else was it? Oh, down here at the tip. Oh, that's why that's on that band, so it was hard to see it. That's why I didn't cut it. Sweet. I'm trying to make sure too that I don't cut through this hat, because I don't want to do that. Definitely don't want to cut through. And you can cut through this, through your hat. I've done that as well. And that was like, wow, man, you are sharp. And then I learned my lesson. Don't cut through that. Do they have to pay in full beforehand? Yes, ma'am. They sure do, Miss Susan. I played not with that. I've been burned one too many times. Not severely, but you know, where I'm sitting there like, okay, you have your merchandise. I am still waiting for payment. And I got paid, but it was, you know, it took a good while. So that is my definition of getting burned. So good thing is, for the most part, I've always had my money, but it took a lot longer than it was supposed to. Man, these stitches right in here are being stubborn. Well, then I hope you come see us in Champaign, Illinois. I will keep that in mind. Just signing on. It's my son's birthday, so we went out to dinner. Oh my goodness, Maria, welcome. I'm glad you were able to come by here. And Miss Joni, I do want to mention that I did see that you said you are so good. I am trying. I'm not the best, which is why I'm picking out stitches. Gas up, Miss Sharon Blake. I did that today. But mainly because I was on E and didn't really have a choice. So I got gas, and then I have 3 vehicles to gas up. And gotta figure that out. And now my sister wants to call me. I have to hurt her. She knows. Oh no, she don't know I'm going live. So as you see, sometimes you're gonna come across some stitches that are a bit stubborn, especially if you can't cut wherever those stitches are. So that can be a pain in the bahookie, but for the most part, we got a lot of the stitches out. I'm still gonna work on it though, because I want all of them out, even though I technically don't have to get all of them out, because like I said, we're gonna do the exact same design where it was. I'm just gonna move it over a smidge. So this should that be covered up? Yep, that'll be covered up again, so I technically don't have to take it out. Still gonna try. And then all this middle stuff will definitely be covered up again, so I don't necessarily have to cut all of that out. So if I wanted to be technical, I could just leave it like it is and not go to the extreme of getting every single stitch out. But in all honesty, I started at like 740, 730, 740 with the stitch eraser on a full-fledged logo. I don't know how many stitches. I probably should look and see how many stitches it is. You'll be ordering your So What Pro today. Woo woo! Yes. I look forward to you getting, if you're ordering it from me, I look forward to getting your email. If you are not, that's still an excellent choice, excellent purchase. I would love to assist you with making sure that you get settled in with So What Pro. Where are you? Here's my folder. Let me see how many stitches is in this thing that we took out. This is Oh, that ain't bad. 4,742 stitches. So thank God we weren't at like 10,000, 12,000 stitches, because I got a lot of designs that are that big. Dense, rather. And then too, I should have thought about it, because it's not like 4x4, it's 4x3 or something to that effect. It's not that big. So, if you guys are tired of watching me pick stitches, I apologize. And then I picked some from the back, because some of them are easier to grab from the back. And get this stuff out of there. I don't know why I can't reach. See, it's in a crevice. These stitches here, they're right there in that stupid crevice, and it's hard to get to them. I can see them. They're right here, but it's hard to get to them with the thing, because of the sweatband pulling it back, and then it's right in there. So I'm gonna try one more time with this, even though, oh Lord, I'm trying to tear up my stitch eraser. Just get out of there. Now I'm trying to tear it up. Come on, get out of these stupid stitches. Am I on the stitches? Okay. It looks like I'm getting them. It did earlier anyway, so, you know. Oh, listen. Y'all, we killed my stitch eraser. Where can I find the link for the program? It is on my website, Miss Joni. It's the same link basically as the demo version, but you take the demo version and you go into, I want to say, about, and when you go into the about section of Sew It Pro, you can enter your registration code there, and it will unlock the program. And thank you. Oh, you're welcome, my dear. Thank you. Thank you for letting me know, Miss Cat, that it's worth it. Miss Ethel says it's on her list. Sharon Blake, they sell a visor at Hobby Lobby that has a magnifying glass. I probably need it. I bought some like Dollar Tree reading glasses to help magnify, and I found they hurt my eyes more than help, actually. So because of that, I just don't really use them much. And besides, I thought the frames were super cute, but I don't really use them. So Kat says yes, because I've been selling those big gas cans and all the extra people coming. Yes, we considered the gas can thing, but I don't know that we'll do that. But all the water in the area, for the most part, is selling out everywhere in Charlotte, so that kind of sucks. Little Miss Boutique, welcome. I am a new follower, and let me tell you that you are my embroidered goddess. Thank you. I have a question, and I hope you or someone could help me. I have a new Elissimo Gold 2, and you love it, that cuts the jump stitch, but every time it jumps to stitch another letter, the thread comes off and I have to rethread it. Do you know why it happens? It sounds like it's cutting it too short, my dear. There are instances, even on Blessing back there, where the stitch will cut too short and it'll unravel it and the bobbin thread won't catch, and a lot of that is because it's cutting it too close. I don't know how to fix that, but a lot of times it's when the stitches are really close together. So, but if anyone has a suggestion on how to fix that, or what you might do to remedy that, please let her know, and myself as well. Miss Joni, you are welcome. You are quite welcome. Alrighty, guys, I am sick of picking at these stitches. Can you believe it? Especially being that I love picking out stitches, but I also don't want to continue to dig at the hat and then wind up scuffing up the front of it a whole lot, but I have made quite a bit of headway, especially considering, as I've mentioned before, it was a full-fledged dadgum design on this hat, man. I'm trying to tell you. This is a Peggy's stitch erased design where the majority of these stitches are out, and if I took my time and kept at it, I can get every last one of these stitches out. Because I'm trying to tell y'all, the design on that one hat that I did, the very first hat I erased the stitches on, all stitches were gone because it was black and the thread was a bright green, so it was easy to see the thread. So you knew, you know, if I didn't get all those stitches, and it was thin name, so I had to get all the stitches out so that the name can line back up like it was supposed to. So alrighty, I'm killing this thing. So this, we are going to go ahead and restitch this and see how it looks. Like I said, 11 minutes. Oh my God, I have been on almost 2 hours, y'all. Ooh, forgive me for those who didn't want to be bothered with me for that long. I apologize. Let's put this back on the thing. I know I'm late, but I think that was I love you in sign language. And it very well could have been, but isn't it fun to think that we could have our own gang sign? That we're repping the embroidery set. That's the set that we're repping. Even though, now don't get it twisted, I know gang warfare, especially in the Chicago, Illinois area, gang warfare is not something to joke about. So please don't think that I am taking that lightly at all, because that is absolutely horrific. However, I know there are a lot of sororities and fraternities. They have their hand signs where they rep, or they where they rep their sororities or fraternities. So we can look at it from that standpoint as well, that we are our own little fraternity, so to speak, for embroidery. And Miss Peggy started it all with her sign. But it was funny when I first saw it. Alrighty guys, what you think? You think we can try it again and get it on there like it's supposed to be? Think that's good enough? We can give it a shot and see. And I have Africa on my dress. Well, it used to be Africa and Madagascar. Let's go hoop. So I'm gonna take this one off, and it is lined up the way it's supposed to be. It looks good. This is the way she wanted it centered, so that's a good thing. So having a template definitely helps. Over here on the side, for those of you who may not know, the the cap driver for this machine, this is the actual driver on the machine itself that you add or put on and take off as needed. But over here is the staging part. So there's a separate bracket that attaches to the table over here that you attach this to, and it helps you make sure that your hats are lined up the way it's supposed to be and set up the way it's supposed to be. So this is really cool. That this is a whole separate thing to make hooping your hat easier. And I used tearaway in the back of this hat, and there's no need to erase stitches on here, even though it must have touched my dress. Got shreds of stitches. Hold on. Ta-da! Alright, let's put the naked one on there that we just erased stitches. That's this one with the African looking, with some stitches still left, so we're gonna go ahead and put that back on. stabilizer on. I'm going to use my printout template and make sure that it's centered the way it's supposed to be. And when the downside on here, when you use the cap driver, the laser light doesn't work. So I pull my foot down to see where the needle is going to go. And that is dead center. So we're going to let it start. And we're going to let that stitch out. Oh, it froze on me? Oh, I am so sorry. I apologize. Oh my God, Montreal, Canada. I saw that. Hold on. Nancy Lardy. Welcome, Miss Nancy. Thank you for joining me from Canada. I appreciate you being here. This is amazing. We like new visitors, new faces. If you would like, I have a private group. For those who may not know, there is a private Baby's Booty group on Google+. The link is in the description below. If you would like to be a member, you cannot Google for this group. You can only join by the link below. So if you click there, it'll take you there. Also, I do have a link in the description below for the Peggy Stitch Eraser. As we learn, we repping the Stitch Eraser, so there is a link below, which I need to plug this up because it was about to die, to show where you can get that from. Miss Satara, welcome, Miss Satara. Liz, I have several baby lock machines. Is this a pre-made design or one you digitize or change? That's a good question too. I didn't think of that. Miss Blake says 2 hours is fine. Makes up for missing you last week. I'm gonna adjust this microphone. Make sure. Sorry about that. Make sure y'all can hear me. Yes, that was, my husband was like so happy that I was free last Thursday. It was funny. Miss Joni says we love having you tonight, and I love having you guys here hanging out. That was really cool. Miss Ethel says she said good night. I apologize for missing you, Miss Ethel. If you watch this again, be safe. My prayers are with you all. We are definitely going to try. Miss Satara, you are so cute. Thank you. I appreciate that. I love getting to come on when I can. I am sewing while this is holla. Make that money, girl. Make that money. So I'm doing in the background, trying to get these hats knocked out before the storm gets here. I'm trying so hard. Miss Sharon Blake says nice. Miss Satara asks, do you take a permanent marker of the areas that have holes just in case when you stitch out again so it won't show on the area that is not in the area? I have not had good experience with markers, permanent markers. I have not. And I am petrified of Sharpie because so many people I've seen in comments online saying that the Sharpie bleeds when it gets wet, and I refuse to have a customer come back to me because I use Sharpie and it bled or damaged. Because imagine, you know, it's one thing for marker to bleed and damage, you know, the item itself, but imagine if she's wearing a blouse and it damages her blouse that she might have got from Neiman Marcus or whatever. I'm not trying to damage somebody's stuff, so I don't use permanent markers. I'm petrified of them, so I really don't want to run that risk, so I don't. And even then, I bought fabric markers that are supposed to be permanent that are not supposed to run, especially after you heat set them, and I found that they don't blend as well as the Sharpies probably would, so I don't use them. But that's just me. That is me. Little Miss Boutique says my kids would love for me to make them hats. Where's the best place to buy them? I buy them locally at a embroidery or a blank supplier, and the company I featured before on a live chat, the name of this particular company is Carolina Made, and it's here in North Carolina, pretty close to Charlotte. It's in a area of just outside of Charlotte called Indian Trail. I do believe their shipping is fairly reasonable, but I don't know the cost to other areas. But I love them. They have some of everything here. Their hats are very reasonable. They have t-shirts, they have hats, they have jerseys, they have polo shirts, they have jackets, they have camo shirts, they have jogging pants, leggings, they have t-shirts out the yin yang, sweatshirts out the yin yang, and way back in the back they even have bags, they have aprons, they have book bags, they have duffel bags, they even have a gun bag. So yes, I do like Carolina made. Now the bags don't have a huge selection, but they do have a really nice selection, and it's called Carolina Made, MADE, and that's where I order a lot of my items from for my customers. And the hats, like these particular hats are like $2. A minute, yeah, these are the right hats, just over $2 for these snapback hats. There's another set of hats that they have that are just under $2. So yeah, they have good prices, especially for the value stuff, and they have name brand stuff that seem to be okay prices too. So they do have jerseys, they have Gildan, they have Fruit of the Loom, they have who else? Gosh, they have so many people. Dry Duck, they have Yupong, which Yupong, they do a lot of those flat bill hats that I can't stand, but other people like them, so let me not talk junk. They even have corporate shirts that you can embroider on, you know, for corporate reasons. Hanes, Champion, Augusta, Code 5, Bella and Canvas, Anvil, what's the name? Next Level. They have a lot of Next Level. Adidas, Puma, the bags, Adidas, Puma bags, Outdoor Cap. So yeah, they have a lot of name brand stuff in here too. You just go online to their website. I'm pretty sure it's carolinamade.com. You can sign up. And if you have a business account, they'll give you business prices. But like that book has no pricing in it, and the prices can change, like stuff go on sale or whatever. So they don't put prices in their book. You can get the current price online. So I really do like Carolina Made. But otherwise, now Miss Boutique, I will tell you, Walmart has pretty decent hats, and their hats are $3. I want to say $2 and 70 something, 90 something cent. I forget what it is exactly. And I have a couple of their hats. Let's see. Like, nope, not that one. Like, I know this is a Walmart hat. See, Faded Glory, and it has Velcro straps on the back. My daughter wanted this color, and I'm pretty sure this hat was $2 and some change. I like the Faded Glory, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because like these hats are structured. They have some structure, meaning it's a little bit stiff up in here. I don't really care for that on my machine, and the reason why is because it has a tendency to stay stiff and not flex really well. So if you're not careful, oh gosh, my machine, to my check the bobbin thread. But if you're not careful, your design can go off or something like that because it's flexing as it's embroidering. So I don't really care for structured caps on my machine. I will do them, I have done them, and I tend to babysit them. And the only reason I'm not babysitting this is because I digitized it where I shouldn't have to babysit it, and I've been watching it. And I've made sure how it would stitch out. So I feel confident in it stitching out on its own. But the stiffer hats, I watch them. This doesn't have any structure in it, so it's really soft and very flexible, pliable, and they're really easy to embroider on, especially if all you have is the 4x4 machine. You can just put this on and lay it flat without too much drama. I love that. These are the better hats to do. So these come from Walmart, and like I said, they're just right at $3 a hat. So if you want to do those for your kids, I would suggest that. And if they're little kids, Walmart, even in the juniors department, like the boys department and the girls department, they have hats there too. But a lot of the hats in that department are have designs already on them. So you gotta go through and try and find them. So give me a moment, please, while I check my bobbin thread. What's going on? Because the top thread is fine. And guess what? My bobbin thread is out. And I get my bobbins from Madeira. But this particular machine, I use the magnetic bobbins. It kind of like holds it in the machine really good. So I haven't had any issues out of these bobbins. So that's what I use. And it also helps me make sure that I'm putting my bobbin in right, because I know the magnet is only going to go one way, and that's to the inside of the bobbin. So sometimes when you get to doing stuff pretty quick, you can forget. Hey, let's check it out. So far we got that little teeny piece of red right there that we're definitely gonna have to get out of that hat. But for the most part, you can kind of see faintly where it was, and we're gonna play with it a little bit when it comes off the machine to see just how bad or just how off that may or may not be. And then we'll see how it looks, and if the customer doesn't like it, then we'll find something else or replace the hat. I see comments. Seam Lady 1, welcome Miss Seam Lady 1. I've never seen your name before. Welcome to our live chat. Praying for your safety and a positive out from Irma. I have a lot of family in North Carolina. Yeah, I'm hoping, oh my God, I'm hoping it's just gonna go even further west, even though I don't want it to go anywhere. I wish it would stay out in the ocean, but I guess that's not gonna happen. But yeah, I'm a little worried. Satara says they have some for professionals. Talk to your vendor. Yes, they do. There's a lot of things professional. I don't know what. Wait a minute. I messed up. What are we talking about? I got lost. I apologize for that one. Miss Boutique says, wow, awesome. Thank you. You're welcome. Sharon Blake, $2.07. Yeah, I knew it was under $3. It's not expensive. Miss Nellie Smith. Hey, Miss Nellie. It looks like I finally got on to see you. I am enjoying the information on the Peggy eraser. You're quite welcome, my dear. I love my Peggy eraser, man. That thing has saved my life. I mean, to the point to where I messed up, thought I was going to have a heart attack. Didn't even have to call 911 because the Peggy Stitch eraser was like, I got you. I know CPR. And bam, that was it. I was brought back, no issues, and I saved my project. So yes, I love this Stitch eraser. Miss Satara says, we pray you and your family's safety and that the weather does not impact your home. I hope it doesn't. I really do. But I am also a realist and know that it's very possible. So we're trying to make preparation. As a matter of fact, I even started bagging up some important things in here that I knew I did not want waterlogged. But, you know, I'm going to have to do what I can do. But the cool thing is, hopefully, if the winds pick up, you know, because I need a roof in here. It's going to start leaking in here. And the roof on this building is horrible. The house is okay, but in here it's horrible. So hopefully, you know, not a ton of damage, but enough where I can give me a roof, because I need one. And don't want to have to come out of pocket for a whole daggone roof. You're making me want to use it again. Yes, I'm trying to tell you, the Peggy Stitch eraser is phenomenal. I've been cleaning, picking up thread, about to do a key fob. Cool. Key fobs are awesome. I need to do a set for volleyball so that I can get some volleyball orders done. I picked up an elementary school today. How awesome is that? They're going to be ordering hats, and the cafeteria worker is going to be ordering aprons. So that's really cool. You say you can babysit your You can babysit my blessing. That is so nice of you. I appreciate the offer. It's all right. I knew what you were saying. That was smart. I like how you put that. That was slick. Oh my gosh. That would be cool to be able to babysit it. That's funny. Well, Miss Blessing is singing. She's saying that our hat is done. Let's see what it looks like, y'all. Yes. Okay. All right. Let's take a look-see. I'm going to tear the stabilizer out from the inside. And we'll take a look. Ta-da! This is the hat that we stitch erased. What you think? You can still see barely the faint outline there. And I'm wondering if maybe like not wetting it, that's the wrong word, but like spritzing it just a teeny bit damp, get it damp with water and steam it. If maybe that would help get some of those holes out, like use the iron, steam, not put the iron on it, but steam it out and see if that would help. We still got to pick out these little stitches here, which I can do from the inside somewhat. Yeah, because I can get to them if I lift up the whatever this thing is in the middle, because that's not the sweatband, but the seam. If I can lift that seam tape up and get up under that. But otherwise, you can almost barely tell that another Africa was there, right? So the stitch eraser does help. It cut my erasing time almost in half, if not more than that, because as I mentioned before, my other alternative was seam ripper razor blade, which a straight edge razor very easily could have cut through the thread. I'm bad about doing that. I know this now. See, I'm saying this for me, because I'm a realist and I'm honest. I'm bad about cutting my stuff, so I do understand a straight edge will work, and I have used it, but usually when I use it, I wind up cutting it, whereas I don't have to worry about that immediately with this. I have to kind of be aggressive with this and not paying attention to cut my fabric or to cut through the hat like I did. Now I did cut this part of that seam tape on the inside, but that's minor, and for the most part the embroidery almost covers it, and if you're not looking for it, you wouldn't see it. You wouldn't know that that's there. Whereas if I had used the straight edge and cut through the hat, then I just probably would have just lost the hat. So and to that end, I have found this to be quite helpful. So pretty much the main goal for me tonight was to let you guys know that this little thing, several people suggested it. I was doubtful because of the price. I was hesitant because of the price, because I'm like, how good could this be for $70, $80? One store local to me even has this for $100. How good could this be for me to pay that much money for a razor when I can go to Walmart for $20 and buy one? But I did get one. It did not erase anything. I wound up taking it back, but that was a couple of months ago. This was a while back when I first heard about this thing, and I'm like, I'm not paying that, and went to Walmart and got one. And now I am glad I invested the $70. It is worth it. It is worth it. And I tell you what, the cool thing about Amazon is you get it, you try it out. If it doesn't work for you, if you don't like it, Amazon, you can send it back. You can send it back to Amazon. So as I pointed out, I have the cordless kind, and it comes with the charger, so I'll be plugging this up tonight. But as you see, even a full-fledged whole daggum stitch out, you can just take your time, go along the back, and you can erase even off of a hat. So imagine if you're erasing stitches off of something flat. You should use this on the back side, you know, over the top of the design and the stabilizer. The stabilizer will help keep you from cutting through to your fabric. But again, if you're aggressive with it, you can cut your fabric, you can cut your project. So you do have to be careful because it's a razor. That's what this is. It is a razor. So, and you can change the blades once it gets, you know, dull. If it seems to be getting dull for you, you can also take it apart to clean it out. So that is my 2+ hour review of of the Peggy's stitch eraser. And as I mentioned, there's a link below to get it. I promise you, for, you know, I love it. I do love it. And my dad loves it, even though it cut off his mustache. So if you missed that story, please rewind, because I need other people to laugh about that too, because that was hilarious. I'm like, mama is gonna kill you because you wanted to play with my stuff. But it was funny. So yeah. So yes, this is good enough for a man, but it is made for the sewing woman or sewing man. We're not going to discriminate. It's made for the stitches. So yes, Peggy Stitch Eraser is amazing. So please go and give that a shot. So I want to definitely thank you all for tuning in with me for 2 hours this evening. This was fun. Again, I apologize for not getting my video out this week. I do have a couple of videos that I was supposed to be recording. Still have to do them. Still will be doing them. I am going to have to find time to get those recorded in with evacuating, if it comes down to that. Hopefully it won't, but it looks more and more like it will come to that, because I'm in Charlotte. So if you don't hear from me next week, it's a good possibility to get on and say hi. You know, this is what's going on. You know, this is how we fared, and it may be brief. So, but just to let you guys keep you updated, because I appreciate you all taking your time to get to know me. And Miss Satara, earlier you said this is what I was talking about, or the dream weave might help on the back. Yes, it could. It very well could. Miss Cat says, wow, it looks awesome. Thank you. It did turn out really, I mean, for it to have had a full embroidery design on the front, man, that's what got to me. It was a full design gone, you know, barely noticeable that it was even there. You know, for me, that just made it worth it. And even Satara, you said you paid $30. There are ways to find it on sale, from what I understand. And there are versions of it, you know, like this one is the 8C. You know, I don't know what the latest version is. I know there's a 3 out there and a whatnot, but that's the one that I have. And that's what I paid. Now, when I went to Joann's, I can't remember where I went, but when I went to my local fabric store, it was $100 all day. So I was like, well, let me see what Amazon has it for. Seam Lady, I'm not new, it's Linda Miller. Oh, you under a different name. Hey, Miss Linda Miller, I apologize. Somehow your YouTube name is switched back to your original, but thanks for making me feel welcome again. You are welcome, my dear. You're always welcome here. Miss Sharon Blake says they sell tooth utensils by the toothbrushes. May be helpful in picking those hard to get threads. They are metal. Cool. I'll have to look into that. Miss Nellie Smith says, my family just went through Harvey. Oh man, all did well. And I left Houston on that Thursday. I will pray for you and your family. Blessing seems to be working smoothly. I am happy for you. Yes, Blessing is doing wonderfully. She is humming along. I'm loving every second of it. I'm getting to know her. She's getting to know me. We've been having a lot of fun, and we've been going through some thread, girl. When I tell you, I just finished one spool of red and I'm down to the bare minimum of this next spool of red. And I don't know that I have enough red for the rest of the hats. So I have one more white hat and 3 black and 3 navy hats that I'm hoping I'll have enough red for. But good thing is tomorrow is Friday, so I'll be able to get to Madeira. And this time, instead of getting a small cone of red, you know, on my popular colors, when I run out, I'm gonna get the big cones. So I got a big cone of red to do. And Miss Debbie Chavis, I'm sorry, a little bit late, but we've had fun. and I'm still here for the moment. So hopefully it won't be too bad. But we had a lot of fun for 2 hours. Matter of fact, my throat is getting sore because I haven't been on this long. Glad you thought of us when you could have been doing so much more. Thanks, and stay safe. I appreciate that, Miss Cat. And Big Camp, hi. Sorry I missed you. We're trying to pack to get away from Irma. If we can find a hotel, I'd like to meet you. Do y'all hear that? Somebody shooting gunshots by my house. I swear. That's the downside to my neighborhood. It's going through a gentrification period right now. So hopefully things will clear out here for the people who own, but it can be frustrating where I live. So the other reason too why I'm concerned about leaving, because I know looting is a very strong possibility where I live. But at any rate, Big Camp, I know my husband was considering going to Abingdon, Virginia area. But as I mentioned to him, the way the track is trending as of right now for Irma, it's headed westerly and north, so from what I'm seeing, Virginia is a good strong West Virginia is a strong possibility that we'll get hit. So I'm telling him, I'm like, dude, that may not be the best idea to go to West Virginia. So I don't know where we're gonna go, and we'll discuss that even further when it's closer to time for evacuation. So we'll see. But it's a lot, man. It's kind of wearing on me somewhat, and I'm trying not to let it get to that point, but a little depressing when you think about it. Regina Young, hi darling. Have learned a lot tonight. That too is amazing. You are amazing. You are amazing. Thank you so much for joining me and watching our videos. I really appreciate it, because Kat, you said that there was a lot more that I could have been doing, but there's a lot more that you guys could have been doing tonight, and I appreciate you being here and watching me play with the Peggy Stitch eraser and doing some work in the meantime. That's phenomenal of you all, and I love having you guys here. So I am excited about doing more videos and making sure we get some more content out there, but I'm also concerned about getting away from the storm and leaving, and hoping that my studio and everything else stays safe. So I appreciate you guys tuning in to watch me. Regina says, praying for you and your family. God's got you all. I appreciate that. We are definitely sending up lots of prayers to make sure that we stay safe. And Miss Sharon Blake says, happy embroidery and take your charger. Thank you very much, and happy embroidery to you all as well. Debbie Kidd says, come to Chesapeake. Doesn't look like it is coming this way. We can have a good visit. Chesapeake, Virginia. That's a thought. I'll have to let him know and see if we can go more easterly instead of westerly. Miss Susan says, thank you so much. Take care and stay safe. I will definitely try to do that, and you are so very welcome. Miss Regina says, good night and happy embroidering, and good night to you and happy embroidering to you as well. So again, thank you guys for tuning in. I really appreciate it. I look forward to seeing you guys hopefully in all one piece next week. Sunday, I don't think Sunday is supposed to, well, I don't know, because they said Saturday it should be around Florida. So I don't know what's going to be going on Sunday. So if at all possible, I'll try and tune in with you guys Sunday, because I know my husband and I were discussing evacuating Tuesday. So if things progress faster than expected, then it may be sooner than that. So I'll let you guys know. And Miss Debbie says, I can help you do 100 hats, 216 patches, and 144 scrub tops. You got that, Miss Kid. I know I have it. Oh my gosh, that's a lot. That's a big order. I don't know that I'm ready for that, especially when I'm gonna be stressing and worried about what's going on at home. So I'm gonna have to I might have to take a hurricane rain check on that one. I'm not sure. Miss Debbie Chapin says, I missed where you are located. We are in Charlotte, North Carolina. I am. So From what I saw earlier today, it's headed directly for us. But again, you know, of course that can change. But for right now, it looks like it's coming straight up to us, the same path that Hurricane Hugo took in '89 when I was just a young tyke of 13 years old. Vola Orange says, be safe and take care. Thank you. So you guys have a great night. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off so I can finish up these hats and finish picking out the rest of that little bit of red and get this lady's order almost done, because she's after we do Africa on the front, we're going to do another logo on the side, so we'll be doing that. So thank you all. I appreciate you tuning in, and until the next time, we want you to have happy embroidering. For those in the path of the storm, please be careful, be safe, and I look forward to seeing you all with our next video. Thanks. Bye.